my Mocs and mods from Season 1. Let's talk about them. So last year I wanted to do a little review of all the Mocs and mods that I did for the first season of my Let's Build series. However, as we all know, that never happened. So we're doing it now. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give some brief thoughts about each of them, just so the video doesn't drag on and end up being like half an hour long. Alright, let's crack on. Starting with the Time Void Daleks. This one is relatively a simple mod. All that's really different from the original is a slight height reduction and the inclusion of the round towel pieces to make up the hemispheres. While it is pretty much the LEGO Dimensions Dalek, the inclusion of the towels definitely adds to the design, as you can make some different variants from across the Doctor Who universe. I think that because this is one of those mods that has very, very minor changes, it's not exactly going to be one that I'm going to be eager to show off. The Portal Radio. As stated in the building video for it, this was made for my final project at college, although it did look a tad bit different back then. It was obvious when making it that it wouldn't be accurate to the ones seen in the games. However, I have tried slimming it down in the past, and it just looked really weird. If I remember rightly, the radios that were dotted around the LEGO Dimensions level pack were just as thick, so I guess it's accurate in LEGO's eyes? I don't know. The perk machines. I figured I'd do them all in one go. I loved making these little perk machines. Obviously it was going to be difficult to try and make these designs on this scale without losing a lot of detail, but I still think I got pretty close. I do think one of the biggest difficulties is getting the heights right for each of them, as none of the images I used for references had the machines side by side, and the ones that I did find, they looked really awkwardly stitched together or edited in places. Maybe it just wasn't looking hard enough, who knows. But I'm happy with how these four turned out in the end. The movie Daleks. Again, mostly using the LEGO Dimensions Dalek as the main body. However, instead of just slapping some round tiles on and calling it a day, for these I made a brand new base for it to slot onto. As mentioned in the building video, I took inspiration from the Daleks in the LEGO Batman movie story pack, which even in that game, it was just the basic bronze Daleks that were already pre-existing in the main story. As I said, it's a much better mod than the previous Dalek mod, as this one actually alters the design slightly, as it increases the height. The classic Daleks. Now this is one of the Daleks that was built from the ground up. The idea behind these Daleks was that I wanted a design that could represent the classic series without having them look like one of the bronze Daleks. So I kept fiddling with different techniques when I gave this design a try. Thankfully this design worked out well, as it's managed to encompass the classic Daleks wonderfully. The different colour schemes mixed with the hemisphere technique really helps recreate the designs from different eras. I also mentioned in the video that after making a couple of these, I found out that there were many people who created very similar designs. So evidently it is a very commonly thought of design that me and many others have used over the years. A little bit of parallel thinking. The mini cat. Originally starting off as a conversation icebreaker, I made this model after one of my own cats. While I feel I captured as much detail as I could from her, I think there's some aspects that are missing due to me using Unikitty as a main reference for the build shape. Maybe with some practice with some other techniques I might have another crack at this, but as of right now I'm happy that it's built. I even have it as a little desk pet. The Paradigm Daleks. Another one that was built from the ground up. Again, I went in with the goal of making a Dalek that had a unique design so it can be separated. And again, I think I achieved it. Annoyingly, the whole paradigm can't be built because the part for the scientist dome hasn't appeared in a set since the early 2000s, which is a bit crap. Another thing about this design that bugs me is the back section, as compared to the real life paradigm Daleks, the grill/hatch section is on the top and the block of colour is at the bottom. I've tried experimenting with different pieces, but so far none of them have really worked, unlike how it looks currently. So I guess I'll have to make my peace with it, even if it is slightly inaccurate. The fireplace. Lastly, we have the fireplace. What started out as a slight modification ended up becoming its very own design. Originally, all that was supposed to happen was that it was going to be a slight extension to the fireplace in the 2023 advent calendar, but as I added more bricks, the more the design altered. As stated in the Let's Build episode, I like both original and my versions of the fireplace, so I don't really have a preferred design. Both designs seem pretty good in my eyes. And that's everything from Season 1. It's nice looking back and seeing how much my Mocs and mods have come along over the years. Granted, some of them are definitely more creative than others, but overall I'd say they aren't that bad. Can they be improved? Of course they can. The more building techniques I learn, it opens more doors to improving the designs. So there may be a day in the future where I'll revisit some of these. Until then, I am happy with how they are. And I think I'll finish up there. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in seeing the other stuff I do, pop on over to the channel and have a gander at what's there. And if you like what you see, then why not subscribe? So thank you all for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Fare thee well.